Parler just got shut down completely, guys, because basically other tech giants considered them too big of a threat. We'll take a look at what the CEO of Parler just said about it and exactly why they were shut down. But just the fact that Google, Amazon, and Apple can get together and shut down a huge website like this is completely ridiculous. It's not just their app, it's their website itself. So before we get into this article of why this happened and how, take a look at what the CEO of Parler said about the whole thing earlier today.
And it's an assault on everybody. I mean, they all worked together to make sure at the same time we would lose access to not only our apps, but they're actually shutting all of our servers off tonight, off the internet. So they made an attempt to not only kill the apps, but to actually destroy the entire company.
Not only kill the app, but destroy the whole company. Because you can't have a competitor to Twitter, right? That's no good. So a couple of days ago, all of these tech giants decided to ban the Parler app from their platforms. But that ended up backfiring because a bunch of more people heard about the news and then started flocking to Parler. So after those 2 days, this headline just came out. Parler social network drops offline after Amazon pulls support. Parler has dropped offline after Amazon pulled support for its so-called free speech social network. The platform had been reliant on the tech giant's Amazon Web Services cloud computing service to provide its alternative to Twitter. It is popular among supporters of Donald Trump, although the president is not a user. Amazon took the action after finding dozens of posts on the service which it said encouraged violence. So first of all, Parler won't be able to jump to another hosting service because a bunch of these hosting services are now afraid of offending Apple, Google, Amazon, and so on. So I think that it'll be very difficult for Parler to actually come back on anytime in the future. And secondly, this argument about Parler not being able to erase like dozens of posts that potentially could encourage violence. I get that that's a thing that we like. Obviously, we don't want to encourage or incite violence, and that goes against the laws. So those posts should be taken down. But if we look thoroughly, how many posts do you think we can find on Twitter that potentially could incite violence? How many mails on Gmail that's run by Google do you think that we could find that would encourage violence? Do you think those companies would be taken down if we found dozens of posts within the millions of mails every single day? I don't think that's very likely to happen. Parler has been online since 2018 and may return if it can find an alternative host, which, I mean, good luck with that. However, Chief Executive John Matzey told Fox News on Sunday that every vendor from text messages services to email providers to our lawyers all ditched us too. We're going to try our best to get back online as quickly as possible, but we're having a lot of trouble because every vendor we talk to says they won't work with us because if Apple doesn't approve and Google doesn't approve, they won't, he added. This is quite astonishing. I can't believe how much power the combination of those huge three companies now have on not only discourse, not only communication, but literally have that effect on websites. Take a look at this, guys, that they just did to Parler. They can get together and make sure that you can, this obviously is in Danish, but it says it's shut down, right? They can get together and make sure that you can't even access a website. It's to me, it's insane. So Facebook and Twitter have also banned President Donald Trump's account on their platforms, citing concerns that he might incite further violence. Isn't that just great? You know, the fact that you might incite further violence should not get you banned or put in place or or get your website completely taken down. This isn't the Minority Report where we judge people ahead of their crimes. You have to actually do something for that to be a penalty. I mean, this should be fairly obvious, right? But not to everyone anymore. You know what? I kind of, in another video, I talked about this happening, but I thought it would take years. I thought it would take years, and I had never imagined that this would happen in the beginning of 2021, that a full website, a direct competitor to Twitter, growing exponentially, would just be taken down just like that. I don't think it's a good idea to leave the monopoly of social discourse in the hands of a few billionaires from Silicon Valley. It used to be that the left would recognize that if you silence people, they tend to get more radicalized. This silencing and this banning of people for their viewpoints are not necessarily for them doing actually anything wrong. This banning of people just contributes to the fact that people are becoming more tribalized. You're pushing people apart. You're separating some people who have one viewpoint from other people who have a different viewpoint. And now what happens is they can't communicate anymore. It's never a good idea to ban communication. It's the answer to bad ideas is not to get rid and ban those ideas. It's to expose them, to let more people see it, because if it's bad ideas, then more people will reject it. And overall, in the end, no one's going to stand by those bad ideas, right? This idea of banning people, I think, only creates more extremism, because if you ban people, separate them, make sure they can't communicate anymore. If you ban one group, that group is going to go away into some echo chamber somewhere. They're still going to air out their opinions, right? They're still going to talk about their opinions and have other people agree with them, because now they're not faced with the other side of the issue anymore because you separated them. Now they're going to go to places, to other people that share their ideas, and their ideas will no longer be challenged. They'll get more radical, and they'll become more extremists than they would have been if they would have just engaged normally with other people. The left used to understand this. I don't get why these people, and I say the left because Silicon Valley is considered very left-leaning in terms of politics. And I don't mean people in general that are just like people on the left that fight for social values and all this. But they used to understand that if you separate people, people become more radicalized. And I just don't get why these tech giants don't understand that. I get that there's if someone violates the law, there should be repercussions. You should be fined, and you should have your posts taken down, and possibly even your account banned. I'm for all of that. If you do something that incite violence and anything else, take the posts down, ban, like do whatever you have to do to get rid of it. I'm completely fine with that. But we're seeing it with people who just in the eyes of the left have unfashionable viewpoints, and that's such a dangerous road to travel down. And remember that if they do that one day to the people that you disagree with, then what's stopping them from doing it the next day to you? If you have an unfashionable viewpoint all of a sudden on a different issue, you might be happy one day, but you have to understand that they will come for you the next day if they can get away with it this time. It's almost 100% sure that they won't stop here, because why would they? So all in all, this is crazy. This is absolutely ridiculous. I want your guys' opinion on this, because I think it's so far out, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. Because maybe it's just me. I don't think so, but let me know what you think in the comment section. This is absolutely crazy. So in this week, I'll be doing some more coverage on the European issues as well. I don't want to get too stuck on this, but this really needed some attention. I don't want to add to the outrage on social media, but I do think that this genuinely is outrageous. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great week. It's Monday today. I hope you get outside, get some fresh air, spend time with the people that you love now that most people are forced to have a lockdown. But thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you in the next video.